Dear friends, welcome to this edition of Basic Anatomy. In this general anatomy class, we will discuss the connective tissue cartilage. Here we will cover hyaline, elastic, and fibro cartilage. We will compare and contrast these three types of cartilage in this discussion. Now we will begin with the basic design of the hyaline cartilage for the discussion, then compare it with the elastic and the white fibro cartilage. But cartilage as a whole is a design for weight bearing, whether it is hyaline or elastic or white fibro. Essentially, these kind of connective tissues can withstand compression forces, and that's why they are ideally located in places like the intervertebral discs, things like that. Next, hyaline cartilage. We have seen these photographs in the earlier videos, but we will now go through it in a little detail. Hyaline cartilage has a surface covering called perichondrium. Now this is important because it's basically a collagen mesh, a dense irregular connective tissue. It gives not only protection, it also gives the progenitor cells from which the cartilage can be repaired and fresh cells can be provided. But remember, a variant of the hyaline cartilage is the articular cartilage. The only difference is in articular cartilage, the perichondrium is missing, and articular cartilage is usually present in the joint surfaces. That means ends of bones which participate in the joint. That's a very fundamental difference between these two variants. Next, within the hyaline cartilage, when we describe the cells and the extracellular matrix, we notice that the cells are sometimes single, but more often they are in clusters. They are located within clearly seen gaps in the cartilage. Now these gaps are known as lacunae, and they are also, because they are all derived from one cell divides locally, they are cell clusters or cell nests. Very simply, we will call them as isogenous cell nests. It's like in the huge ocean of the matrix, you will see reasonably well scattered number of such clusters. Now this intercellular matrix is unique to the hyaline cartilage because the composition is such that the matrix presents an homogeneous appearance or a frosted glass appearance. In contrast, in the case of elastic fibers, the matrix will actually show the elastic fibers, whereas in this case, the hyaline, the collagen is too thin. Even under an electron microscope, it's very thin, and hence it cannot be seen in the stained H&E preparation in light microscopy. But doesn't mean that there is no collagen. Collagen is very much there. Next, the matrix can be divided into two parts: an area immediately around the lacunae, which is rich in, that area is called the territorial matrix, rich in proteoglycans, and the interterritorial matrix, which is a little paler and it is slightly away from the cell clusters. Next, I just used this example of a raspberry cake to give you a contrast between the territorial matrix and the interterritorial matrix. Next, basically the following are the very typical features of the hyaline cartilage. It's totally avascular, so whatever nutrients has to reach the cell has to come only through diffusion through the extracellular matrix, whatever is possible. Please remember, compression forces are constantly acting, so the compression and relaxation of this cartilage may actually push fluid or nutrient under pressure to deeper structures, but this is not a major mode of supply. In fact, some of the deeper lacunae and the cell clusters, the cells may even disappear and die subsequently calcification may set in. This is primarily because of a lack of blood supply. The matrix itself has another important property. The proteoglycans there can absorb water. As a result, these cartilages can swell depending upon the local requirements. Now, besides this, the region immediately below the perichondrium is rich in chondrocytes. I mean, they are the chondroblast cells. Now, these can give fresh waves of cells which can be used by the cartilage for repair and other purposes. The repair facility, however, in the case of articular cartilage varies. It's not as good as the other parts of the cartilage. That's the reason why if the menisci or the disc is torn, the chances of healing secondary to a good repair may be a difficult possibility. I already mentioned the high resilience to distorting forces, as in the case of any cartilage. Hyaline also has this compliance. The potential of hyaline cartilage to convert into bone is important because it is basically a precursor, a template from which the bone is formed, Now, the glassy appearance is its unique structural design. It's a design for low friction, high lubrication, especially in its variant form, namely the articular cartilage. We will now see the second type of cartilage, elastic fibers. By and large, it shares most of the physical properties of the hyaline cartilage. It is seen in places where you need a compliance to stretch. Second, elastic recoil so that it can come back to its original shape when the shearing force is withdrawn. Therefore, places like epiglottis, the pinna of the external ear are very good examples. I have mentioned these two as the primary features. The fibers are visible, unlike in the case of the hyaline cartilage. These elastic fibers, elastin, are visible in the extracellular. That means the refractive index is such that it stands out from the rest of the ground substance. The third variety is also equally important. A good example of dense regular connective tissue, that is white fibro cartilage. Here it is the best examples will be menisci, intervertebral discs, the glenoidal and the acetabular labra, and the fibrous sheaths around the tendons. High tensile strength, very good strength. It can resist compression forces. It's just not compression and recoil. Here it can withstand high compression forces. This is very important. As far as the structure is concerned, number of bundles of collagen, within a particular layer, they are all running parallel to one another, but adjacent layers may crisscross in different directions. So this helps in redistribution of weight and movement of the distribution of the body weight from the cartilage onto the adjacent bone. That was a brief overview of the three types of cartilages. Thank you.